Okay, so let me talk to you about the cards. So we have the devil, and the devil deals with temptation. Okay, so in this deck in particular, it's definitely it's like the, I'm hearing payout. Okay, so it's this fruit in the tree is the snake that is coiled around it. So if somebody reaches up for that fruit, it's going to get bitten. Okay, so whatever it is, there's an element of allure, there's an element of temptation, and there's also a forewarning when it comes to danger. Okay, forewarn is for forearms. So I feel like if you are aware of the dangers that are inherent in this situation, it doesn't mean that it won't work out. It just means that you need to, anticipate how you're going to counteract these dangers. Okay, how you're going to be able to protect yourself, and how you're able to overcome these obstacles in order to get to whatever it is that you want. The colors on the other side of that wall is very vivid. It's very like, the colors are like, it's like Technicolor. They're the hues, the spectrums are very, very vivid. And so I feel like there's definitely something that is very eye-catching, that is catching your attention, that is drawing your attention, and it's kind of like beckoning you to come towards it. And I feel like for many of you, this is definitely career opportunities, okay? We have here Three of Pentacles. This is a situation where we can apply our skills, where we can take on more responsibilities, where we can coach other people, where other people come to us for advice, come to us for counsel, or even come to us because we are kind of like the expert in our fields, okay? So this is a card about consultation. And we're going from the Three of Pentacles to the Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles is usually like we have a finite amount of resources. And the Pentacle suit deals with, money, tangible things, assets, and things of value. So I feel like there's a major opportunity here for some of you guys to gamble, to like, to bet on something, to invest in something. And it's all very, very speculative, okay? So once again, when it comes to like financial speculation, okay, making like educated guesses or making smart investment, it definitely requires a lot of research. It requires a lot of preliminary, background work in order for the venture to pay out. So I feel like there's a situation here and you have a finite amount of resources and you're not sure where to devote your resources. And I feel like some things are a big risk and others are very, I want to say the risks are a lot lower. And so I feel like normally you guys are normally very risk adverse. Okay. So I do sense like in this situation, it's like what you see is not always what you get. So I feel like there's going to be some huge payout too. Okay. But once again, there are inherent dangers with speculation, right? Like we're not always 100% sure how things are going to pan out. So it's really important for you to do your research and to make sure that whatever you get yourself into, that you come prepared. Okay. So I definitely feel income generating opportunities here where you're able to like multiply or even double or triple your income. And then I also feel as well, the need to come into a situation very, very prepared. Okay. With these two cards, what I do sense is, right next to each other, the Three of Pentacles is consultation. The Four of Pentacles is holding back, okay? I feel like there's somebody here who is a little bit like, it's almost like you're not really sure if you can trust them, okay? So should you reach out and consult them, or should you, should you offer your expertise, your skills, and your guidance, or should you hold back? So I feel like there's a situation here where things are very, very opposite. Like the energy is very opposite. There's a temptation here to either reach out or there's a temptation to hold back. Reaching out requires a lot of work and a lot of effort. holding back ensures that things are safe and things are very, very stable. The four energies, it's like the four legs of a table. It's very stable, it's very sturdy, but it's also really, really stagnant. So I feel like you're grappling between a major decision. There's a big temptation here in the picture. You're trying to weigh out your pros and cons. I have here, and this is the Strength card, and the Strength card is basically, with this card in this deck, it's not the standard Rider-Waite interpretation, I feel. There is that infinity symbol up there, okay? So it's like wanting to make the right decision. Not only is it like the right thing, but morally right, okay? Wanting to do the right thing, wanting to balance things out, wanting to like, I feel like fix a situation or really understand all the inherent risk involved before you make a decision, okay? So you're operating from a space where you're not really making a move. You're testing the waters, you're assessing, you're scouting, or you're just trying to get a lay of the land or trying to get like your bearing before you act, okay? So this is a card about deep contemplation, but coming from a space where you want to be responsible. You want to do not only what is right, what is expected of you, but what is also morally right, okay? So I feel like there's a situation here where Three of Pentacles, consulting, reaching out, exchanging in ideas, and, you know, opening up that channel of communication. It seems to me like it could be very, very burdensome, okay? It seems like emotions and feelings and thoughts are wound up very, very tight. And there's something here that is so neatly packaged, okay? It's wound up really, really tight. It is very burdensome, and it's hard for you to know how to extract yourself from it. It's hard for you to know, where do I even begin to unravel it? Where do I even start? Where's the beginning? Where's the middle? And where's the end? So I feel like there might have been, for some of you, a really, really complicated situation that you're trying to resolve. And you're not sure. It's like biting off more than we can chew, and then not knowing, you know, what to do, like spit it out or just, you know, swallow it. Like, I feel like it's a situation where it's like we've already gotten ourselves into it. It's like too late to back out, but at the same time, it's more work to continue, like sunk cost, okay? A lot has been invested in it, and there isn't an easy way out. There isn't also an easy way to drop it either. So I feel like you're in a situation where you feel like reaching out, consulting, trying to plan for this situation might be a little bit more trouble than it's worth, okay? And then on the other hand, what I see is with this Four of Pentacles, holding on very, very tightly to things, okay? All the sand dollars are sinking into the quicksand, okay? So let me show you. Four of Pentacles. It is very much about stability, but it's also about stagnancy, things sinking, okay? It almost screams to me like a situation that is going downhill. We're holding on to it because it could be very comfortable. And a lot of the times I'm getting this imagery where you're kind of like, if you've been in it for so long, you don't notice that it's sinking. Okay. You don't notice that you're standing in quicksand. If it moves really, really, really slowly and the changes come about in such a minute way, you don't notice it until a long period of time has passed, okay? Sort of like that image that I saw, the passage of time. The cracks in the walls get bigger. The vines start to overgrow, and like nature starts to reclaim itself. Like, I feel like there's definitely something that is sinking and disappearing. Yeah, disappearing. Sinking into the quicksand, disappearing. And so the more that you put off, or the longer that you put off, the more it's going to disappear. And at the end of it, all you're going to get left is not these pentacles, but just, you know, the imprint in the sand, okay, like a disappearing act. So I definitely feel you're conflicted about a decision, and you're conflicted, excuse me, about a waiting too long, taking too long, and having something kind of disappear out of sight, okay? What we have here is the Queen of Swords, and this could be your energy, Gemini, as an air sign. This is the card of Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, okay? When I first saw this card, the thing that really stood out is not so much the blue eyes, but the moon in the background, the crescent moon, okay? It seems almost like an eclipse to me. So somebody in the interim, if we're taking our time, if we're taking too long, it indicates an eclipse situation where somebody might be eclipsed out of your life, where somebody might turn very, very icy and very, very cold and very distant. And they're kind of like on the move, okay? This is very menacing. Usually this card, you know, it's not menacing, but in this deck, it's almost like somebody who's on the prowl, somebody who's a predator, an energy that's very predatory, and an energy that's of somebody who is like, you know, like almost like night vision. They have such strong insights, and they can see through. It's almost like having X-ray vision. They see through everything, okay? It's somebody who's very discerning, who's very, very sharp, and they can be extremely intimidating to deal with just because nothing passes or nothing goes unnoticed. Nothing passes through, and they see and they hear everything. So it's somebody with, like, you know, highly in tune senses, okay? But I definitely feel an element here about, you know, eclipsing somebody, disappearing, okay? So that's like the first image. There are two more. Let me try to remember. Oh my gosh, so I can't remember now. Let me see if I've taken notes here. Okay. So the whole concept about, you know, the eyes, okay, like turning cold and things like that, it's also as well echoed in this this card. We have here the Magician, sleight of hand, okay, covering something, concealing something, and it's almost like creating a distraction in front of the audience so that they're seeing what you want them to see. So I feel like for some of you, this could be your energy where you're dealing with somebody who's a performer, or you feel like you're putting on a show. You feel like at work, I have to be this way. And then at home, I have to be this way. And so I almost feel like role playing, somebody who's putting on a show, or somebody who's like going through the motions and you know, pandering to an audience. I have to be like this with this person. I have to be like that with that person. I have to be like this. And with Gemini, you know, you guys are already like the split personality. It is really, really important for you to realize who you are on the inside. So I feel like, you know, wearing the mask and putting on a show and the whole concept about having to perform all the time, you might feel like you're constantly under scrutiny, okay? This is like surveillance, okay? Like, it gives me like a very strong performance anxiety, having to pander to people, having to keep ourselves in check, having to behave a certain way, mainly because we are being watched, we are being noticed, we are under scrutiny. And this can be as well at work, where you're just feeling as if you have to perform, you have to reach certain quotas. Your subordinates' performance or actions or demeanor or behavior is a reflection of you, and vice versa. The end product that you, whatever it is that you produce in the work environment, is a huge reflection of you. So I feel almost like a situation where you feel like you're under scrutiny, or you feel like you're in the limelight, and you feel almost like you have to cater to what other people want. And I mentioned before, and I never finished that train of thought, so sorry. With Gemini, it's really important for you to find your center, because your energy is very bipolar already because of that twin, duality. And so it's important for you to know who you are. It's important for you to not have to put on these masks when you're dealing with different types of people. And it's important for you to show your true self and not have to feel like you have to conceal any part of yourself when you're dealing with other people. Because in the process of concealing yourself as a dual sign, also as a mutable sign, you guys are very changeable. So from one day to the next, you're constantly in flux. Your value system, whatever you feel is important, I feel like you can bend rules. You can bend rules to fit a situation, okay? And because of that, the sense of morality, the sense of what's right and wrong, the sense of like what is morally acceptable versus what is morally not, these things can get very distorted when you have to pander to other people, when you have to perform according to what other people want, and when you feel like your true authentic self is not, coming to the surface. So it's really important for us to examine the image of ourselves that we are projecting into the world, how other people perceive us, how we can come into our own self-expression that expresses our authentic self. So I feel like there's a lot here about somebody who is trying to conceal, trying to distract, using a red herring, trying to kind of like divert attention away from a situation. And then on the flip side of that, we have the High Priestess, okay? And this is it's like a standoff is what I'm sensing. So for those of you who are familiar with the tarot, the Magician is somebody with all the elements and is able to manifest, okay, create. It's somebody who is, it's like working magic. It's somebody who's a performer, who's very charming, who is able to get away with sleight of hands, twisted logic. It's somebody who's able to manipulate, right? And the High Priestess is sort of like the person that you don't want to be around if you're ever a magician. The High Priestess is somebody with like intuitive knowledge. It's somebody with like years of wisdom. It's somebody who's extremely psychic. They feel things, they sense things, and they pick up energies. They're highly empathic. They have a very good read on people, and they understand people's motives and people's intentions. So what I'm looking at here is, it's a cat, okay, with the crescent moon on its third eye. And it's looking right at the Magician. It's like I see through the facade. I see through the mask. I see through your intentions. I see exactly what you're trying to do. Okay, so I feel like one person is definitely trying to conceal information or trying to distract or trying to withhold and hold back information. And then the other person is definitely already aware, okay? Can see through the fog, can see through the distractions, and can see through all of this, the facade. And so this can feel really uncomfortable, right? And that would explain why you feel like you're under scrutiny. That would explain why you feel like you have to perform. That would also explain why you feel almost like you have to be, a different person depending on who your audience is. And so this is a month where I feel like drop the act, okay? It's time to drop the act. It's time to tell somebody to drop the act. I feel like you might be dealing with somebody like this who is a performer, and you're just like, I see through it. You're not fooling anybody. And on the flip side, Geminis, because you're great performers, I feel like somebody might be saying this to you, you know, drop the act. I see through the facade and you're not fooling me. And so there's definitely a little bit of a standoff here. This energy seems a little bit intimidating, okay? Give me just a moment. That message, the image is coming back.